Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Los Banos Talk. My name is Justin Collins. Today, we're going to talk about purple tier. What does that mean? What do these fancy colors mean, and what does that mean for us? Well, it's a little different than it used to be. When this lockdown first started, nobody really knew what was going on, and there was a lot of uncertainty in the air, and people didn't really understand what the different things meant. Since then, we've now created a color-coded tier system, which gives us a little bit better idea of what stays open and what doesn't. This isn't really quite a full lockdown as we had when the virus was initially discovered and our government decided to take action. This is a little different. So, Merced County, among many other counties, is moving into the purple tier, or in other words, as we could think of it, the most restrictive tier. But this doesn't mean that everything is shut down. It actually means some very specific things, and I'm about to explain what those things are. So all retail is allowed to remain open indoors with modifications, and that they can only have up to max of 25% capacity. Shopping centers. They can also be open indoor as well with modifications, but with 25% capacity, and food courts are closed. Museums, zoos, and aquariums are outdoor only with modifications. Places of worship, such as a church, are also open outdoor only with modifications. Movie theaters are now closed down indoors, but are open outdoor only with modifications. Gym and fitness centers are now also closed down indoors, but are open if they are outdoors and with modifications. And restaurants are again outdoor only or takeout and delivery. In addition to this, the Los Banos Unified School District also sent out a notification the other day announcing that they are going to halt the attempt to In addition to this, Los Banos Unified School District also recently announced that they are going to temporarily stop incrementally starting in-person and hybrid classes, that now classes will resume online until January, at which such time they would reevaluate the situation and move from there. So you might be asking yourself, well, what can I do to help us move out of the purple tier, if anything? Well, there are a few things that you can actually do to help us move out of the purple tier, and some of them may not be as intuitive as you would think. One of the things you can do is obviously trying to reduce the spread by maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, avoiding going outdoors and taking unnecessary trips. When you have a party at your house, follow the guidelines of no more than 2 or more households and 6 people or less. Wash your hands with soap and water. Wearing a mask is actually a very effective and inexpensive way to combat the pandemic. A lot of people are confused about the way the mask works. They like to wear it under their nose, for instance, or bring it below their face, or or they feel as though they don't need to wear a mask because they're not afraid of the virus. But the mask actually doesn't protect you directly. It actually protects other people. By you wearing the mask, you're actually catching your own. By you wearing a mask, you're actually preventing. When you wear a mask, you're actually protecting other people, not necessarily yourself. You're preventing yourself from spreading it to someone else in case you might be an asymptomatic carrier or if you do have symptoms. Theoretically, if everyone in a given area is all wearing a mask, the odds of contracting the virus have been greatly reduced. You don't wear the mask really for your direct protection, but if everyone wears a mask, then in a sense, everyone in that immediate area is more or less protected, or at least more so if they didn't. There's a reason why people get upset when someone doesn't wear a mask. It's not because they feel as though you need to wear a mask in order to protect yourself. The reason they want you to wear a mask is because you wearing a mask protects them. If they wear a mask and you don't wear a mask, then essentially they're protecting you and you're not protecting them. Wearing a mask is honestly very selfless. You don't really do it for yourself, you do it for other people. It's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, no one likes wearing a mask. But it's not something that we do for ourselves, it's something that we do for others. Now, is it foolproof? No, of course not. But studies have shown that wearing a mask can reduce the odds of you spreading, reduces. But studies have shown that wearing a mask can reduce the amount of spread by up to 80%. And the last thing that can really help us move out of the purple tier, just as important, if honestly almost not more important than following all the guidelines, is getting tested. Yes, more people need to get tested. The way the system is designed is that essentially we get a bonus. We get bonus points for more people getting tested. In the case of Fresno County and numerous other counties, they've never actually been below the number of people that they needed to actually qualify for the tier that they're in. They're simply in that tier because they have bonus points for more people getting tested. Now, if you were to think logically from a statistics point of view, the only way we could really know what the true percentage of people getting corona are is if you was truly random. If you randomly picked like 2,000 households in the county and tested them against their will, that would be really the only true way to actually know how many people, more or less have the thing. Sample sizes need to be random. And the problem with the way we're going about it is that the people who get tested are self-elected. So most people getting tested are getting tested because they think they might have it or maybe feel sick or are worried. And this skews the numbers up. And I know what you're thinking. So you're saying more people that are feeling healthy need to get tested? Well, part of the problem is that you could be an asymptomatic carrier. But the other thing is that, well, yes, if more people go get tested for no reason, whether they feel sick or not, then this mimics as close to a random sample as possible. Because of this, they are rewarding places that get more tests done because the idea is that it's closer to being statistically accurate, less biased, but also it's to not make people feel as though they shouldn't get tested in order to lower the numbers. So, because they don't want people to think more tests equals more positives, they want more people to get tested. Now, you may not like this. You may think that this is wrong. You may feel this is very political, and that's completely fine. But it doesn't change the fact that that is literally the situation we are in. So our choices are simply this. More of us could get tested, start wearing a mask, following the guidelines, playing by the rules, or we can get really comfortable in purple tier. And that's basically our choices. I, for one, don't want... I, for one, realize how harmful this is for our local businesses and for our local economy, which directly affects all of us, including myself. And so for that reason, I think it's better that we... And for that reason, I think that it's better if in the short run we comply. I realize that these regulations and that the tiers really do genuinely hurt local businesses. But the only way that we're going to move forward and progress out of it is by essentially playing the game, if you will. So even if you think it's political or however you might feel about it, think of it as you're doing something for Los Banos. You're doing something for all of us. You're taking one for the team by going and getting tested, by wearing your mask, by washing your hands, by following the guidelines. Your sacrifice is bringing us as a community one step closer to freedom, which is what we all really want. So whether you like it or you don't, or you feel it's political or whatever, it really doesn't matter. This is the situation at hand, and this is the solution we can do. This is the situation at hand, and this is the solution before us. And I recommend that we take it. Because no amount of calling Newsom a hypocrite for attending a party, no amount of yelling it's a hoax, no amount of comments and memes is going to take us out of purple tier. What will take us out of purple tier is more people getting tested and following all the guidelines. My name is Justin Collins. If you haven't already, please like, follow, subscribe to Los Banos Talk, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.